a horse? Today we're going to show you all about what it's like to be a horse and in a trailer.
Howdy, and welcome to the Bar SC Ranch, where you will experience our journey of running a family business, caring for animals, and doing life together. Subscribe now and be inspired here at the Bar SC.
Hey, so this is our trailer here. It's a stock trailer, which means it's not only meant for horses, but any other kind of animal that would fit, no elephants or giraffes. You can put in this trailer as well, so you can fill it with a bunch of sheep, some goats, your horses, some cows, anything like that. It's open on the inside. There's one divider here on the side, so you could split it into halves. But otherwise, the amount of space that you have isn't blocked by any dividers or barriers or anything like that. And one thing you want to make sure of when you're going to be trailering horses is that your trailer is actually tall enough for the horses that you're putting in it. And this one's nice and tall. Since it is a stock trailer, it's meant for a wide variety of animals. So really, if your horse is too tall for this trailer, you've got a really tall horse and you've got other problems. Otherwise, this trailer is more than tall enough for even our tallest horses here, which are quite tall. But you wouldn't want, as you get into other kinds of horses or horse trailers specifically, they'll label them based on if they're just average sized or if they're made for what they call warm blood sized, which just means they're extra tall. And if you've got a horse that's a little taller than some of our small quarter horses, you would need that extra tall. So you wouldn't want to go out and buy a short horse trailer and find that your horse doesn't fit.
That would be terrible. So one of the other things we always want to look at, we want to make sure that there are nothing going on inside the trailer, and Ashley will cover that, but definitely floorboards. Floorboards are super, super important. We have ours covered by mats. Most trailers do have mats on them. We would highly recommend that because floorboards are usually made from wood. Wood can splinter as horses especially kick or move around when they're in the trailer. So every couple of, honestly, you're supposed to do it every time you trailer. We do it every couple of times that we trailer. We'll peel up the mats and just check and make sure that the floorboards aren't splitting, that they're not rotting, that they haven't moved or shifted in there. And it's kind of a pain, but it's very important to do because you definitely don't want a horse to put a foot through there or fall through the bottom of your trailer. That would be horrible.
And like she's talking about sharp things on the floor, you also have to watch for sharp objects just anywhere in the trailer. If anything on the side of this, and again, it's a stock trailer, so there's a little less to be sharp and to be, on the walls. It's very minimalist. If you had a bunch of sharp edges or something that maybe something pulled on one of these metal pieces and bent it inward, so now it's sticking out, it's not flush with the sides, you could have a big issue there where your horse just bumps it in the wrong way, and now they're bleeding, and you show up to, go for your ride or go to your horse show, and now you've got a major injury. Who cares about the horse show at that point? Now your horse is injured because your trailer wasn't properly safe for the horses that you were putting in there. So you want to do a good walkthrough every time you trailer, know the inside of your trailer, know what might become an issue, as you trailer, what they could, pick at to make, an unsafe situation, and where there might be, problems that you would start to see in the future. So looking anywhere the horses are going to be tied, down around their legs, anywhere up high where if they raise their head up, if there's something really sharp, you wouldn't want them to poke themselves in the back of the head. So it's good to do a quick walkthrough. Kittens are not normally seen as dangerous, but you probably don't want them in your horse trailer. But looking for those sharp edges that would be somewhere that your horse could cut themselves. Now that you know how to keep your horses safe in the horse trailer, you also have to make sure you familiarize yourself with the parts of your trailer, on the exterior here, and how it attaches to your truck. You need to know how to keep yourself safe, how to make sure everything's properly attached, and this goes for horse trailers or any other kind of trailering, so make sure you learn how your trailer hooks up and how to keep it safe while you're driving on the road before you ever put a horse in the horse trailer.
There will always be a set of safety chains. Make sure those are attached to your truck. When trailering your horse, it's also important to consider the size and type of your vehicle. This is much overkill for our little stock trailer, but it is really important. Sometimes we do see people trying to pull their larger trailers with like a Suburban or a, I'm sorry, not even a Suburban, with a...
like little crossovers and things like that.
You can put a lot of unneeded or extra stress on your transmission and your brakes. So if you choose to pull a bigger trailer with a smaller vehicle, just make sure that you're always checking your brake systems, your transmission, that kind of thing, keeping them well serviced and making sure that they're always in working order before you have your animal being pulled behind them.
Yeah, the biggest issue with trailers like that isn't can you get it moving, because you can go slowly and get it moving, but can you stop in a reasonable amount of time, and are you leaving enough space that your tiny little vehicle can stop something that probably weighs much more than the small vehicle that you're pulling it with. You really don't want your trailer outweighing your vehicle. That's going to make a really fishtaily kind of unsafe driving experience if you ever do have to really push on the brakes.
When loading a horse into the trailer, it is important to remember that a lot of horses don't like trailers. Ours has been used often, so it smells like horse. That's helpful in getting a horse to go into a trailer. All I'm saying is that sometimes before you want to take your horse somewhere, you want to trailer them ahead of time to make sure you understand how much time it's going to take you to actually get your horse into the trailer. We've worked with our horses many hours. We've gotten them all good and desensitized to the trailer, so they usually just go ahead and load right up. Our trailer, like we were saying, has a step up, actually a pretty significant step up. That can be very scary. So a ramp is oftentimes the way that a lot of people would prefer to purchase a trailer with a ramp. We're going to go ahead and show you what it's like for them to go ahead and step up into a trailer, and then we're going to show you how to properly tie and make sure that the horse is going to travel in a safe and secure way. Once we get our horses in the trailer, it is important to secure them properly and tightly so that we don't lose them in the trailer. We have a stock trailer, so sometimes we'll tie to this first pole or support right here, or at the very front of the trailer there's a ring and we can tie there. Nemo likes to eat everything. We also like to make their trailering, the horse's trailering experience, as happy and fun as possible, so sometimes we'll use a hay bag. Did that scare you? We'll use a hay bag full of their favorite feed to keep them entertained while we're driving down the road. If you choose to use a hay bag or a hay net, it's really important to make sure it is secured high enough that they can't get their feet up in through the bag, because that could cause a huge wreck. The horse could injure their legs. Likewise, when we're tying them, we're going to make sure that even though we're going to let him have access to a little bit of hay, I'm going to make sure he's safely and securely tied with a quick release knot, so I can let him go really quickly if I need to, but that he can get to his feed, but it's not loose enough for him to get his foot up over there, which could cause a big accident as well.
So when it's time for us to take our horses back out of the trailer, typically we reverse them or back them up out. And this is because if your horse is of decent size, you're going to end up finding a trailer where they can't actually turn around inside. Even if sometimes they can turn around in the trailer, you don't necessarily want to make that a habit unless they're always going to be able to do that, because otherwise when the day comes that they're too long to turn around in the trailer, they're going to want to turn around and you're not going to be able to back them up out of it. So we teach our horses to back up nice and slowly, and we say to them step to let them know when that step down is coming up, so that we've prepared them, we start training them that we're going to tell them when they're going to be stepping down. But a lot of this is just doing it repeatedly and getting your horse comfortable enough and understanding the process enough that it goes nice and smoothly. So one of the biggest problems people run into when trailering their horses is that their horse won't get into the trailer. And if you're having this kind of an issue, that could be like a whole nother series of videos. That wouldn't even just be one video. We use something we call the method, which is by a popular horse trainer that we follow, and we use all of his videos to help us train our horses. And we use his method, which involves putting the horse to work outside of the trailer, making their life, like, oh, I've got to exercise if I'm going to be out here. But if they get near the horse trailer, they step into it, that's a rest. They get to rest there. And so they start learning, well, shoot, I really want to be in the horse trailer because then I just get to sleep, and maybe eat some hay and just kind of hang out. And so you create that draw and you create their interest, so where when you walk up to the trailer, they say, please let me get in the trailer. That's where I want to be. And that's the way that we really do want all of our horses when we're trailering them. We want them to feel comfortable with the situation. Even if, would they rather be in the horse trailer or would they rather be in pasture? They would rather be in pasture. But we can teach them that it's okay to be in the horse trailer, and so that they're not, we're not causing them undue stress by taking them places. Because this could be, if something catches fire around here, we have to evacuate for something. It could actually be an emergency or, much more stressful situation when we're trying to get them in the trailer. We want to know that they're all going to get in so we can get them all to safety. So these boots that Charlie has on are known as shipping boots, and they cover the lower parts of the leg and even up over the hock, depending on what boots that you buy. And they're used for when you're trailering your horse, so that if your horse accidentally bumps something in the trailer, or if your horse, you know, by golly, has a habit of kicking in the trailer or doing anything ridiculous, it keeps their lower legs protected so that they don't get any cuts, bruises, inflammation, soreness, anything like that from knocking them around. It also helps as they get in and out of the trailer. If you don't have a ramp, like our stock trailer doesn't have a ramp, they do have to step down and step up to get in and out of the trailer. And so that keeps them from possibly nicking their leg as they're trying to do that, because they're normally backing up out of the trailer. They can't really see where they're going. So this gives them a little bit of protection so that your horse's legs are safe and don't get damaged. Excuse you, buddy. These boots are a little bit big on Charlie. They're actually for one of our larger horses, but we wanted to show you guys what it's like when you first put boots that a horse hasn't had on before. They tend to do really ridiculous things with their legs because they think something's stuck to them. They don't realize it's a boot. They're like, something is stuck to my leg and I'm gonna try and shake it off. But Charlie here is a pretty good girl.
So now we're ready to take our horse for a ride. I hope you have had the experience of getting to ride in the back of a horse trailer yourself, personally as a human. I know that it really opened my eyes to seeing what a horse really experiences while they're in the back of a trailer as it moves around. It made me as a driver more aware of how fast I go and maybe how tightly I turn around corners, how fast I go over speed bumps, and how fast you stop. So now we have a really fun experience. We're gonna take the camera and a human along with our horse in a ride in our horse trailer. Okay, I'm getting in the trailer. Gotta suit up. How's it going? There we go. Not sure it was really made for my feet. Hopefully it'll keep them nice and safe while I'm in the back of the trailer. Let's go. We have our walkie so we can talk to the person in the truck just in case it gets a little wild and crazy. All right, we'll let you know when we're ready. We have Nemo tied up and I'm standing in the trailer. So I only have 2 feet. My horse has 4 feet. That's really good. So far we're just barely out of the trailer, or I'm sorry, barely out of the driveway. We're just turning around to head down the driveway. Pretty bouncy, I'm not gonna lie. Stopping is important. Stop slowly. Ashley, you want to simulate a slow stop? Oh, that was a slow stop. Much more kind. And I bet you we weren't going more than, Ashley, how fast were you driving? That was only 9 miles an hour. So it gets pretty bumpy back here. That's what happens when somebody cuts you off and you have to throw on the brakes. So at the end of our road, we're going to make a big circle. If I didn't have hands to hold on with, this would be really hard. You got this. Wow, I think we're finally back at the barn. That was a pretty incredible trip. I have to admit I noticed a few things. One is we weren't driving very fast at all. I don't think we reached any higher than 15 miles an hour maybe. Let me check. Ashley, what was the fastest we got up to? 15 miles an hour. And it felt super fast. So imagine when you're taking your horse down the road at, 50 miles an hour. I also noticed that there's a lot of things that can blow in, and so some people might want to, you can actually buy sunglasses for your horse basically, but put a fly mask over so that stuff doesn't blow in their eyes. Huh, Nemo. And the last thing I noticed, these are incredibly warm. So if it's a super hot day, your horse might be a little sweaty when you take them off. Thanks so much for coming on our trailering adventure today. We take the safety of our animals and the safety of our equipment very seriously, so we really appreciate you watching and spending time with us.
If you enjoyed this video, we'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe and leave comments about what you might like to see in future videos. We'll see ya back on the ranch.